Everyone called me the family's biggest failure. Not because I was lazy. Not because I wasted money. But because I sold the one thing my grandfather had begged us to protect. The day I signed the papers, my cousins celebrated. My uncle called me a disgrace. My own sister posted online that I had destroyed 4 generations of family history. Nobody knew the truth. The farm they mocked me for selling had never been the real inheritance. And exactly 1 year later, every person who laughed at me would be standing in line, asking me to save the very land they had stolen. My name is Noah Carter. I grew up on Willow Creek Farm, a place my grandfather built with his own hands after returning from the military. It wasn't just farmland. It was where birthdays were celebrated, where Christmas dinners lasted until midnight, and where Grandpa taught every grandchild that honesty mattered more than money. Before he passed away, he told us one thing. Never fight over land. Land doesn't break families. Greed does. Nobody listened. Especially my Uncle Richard. The moment Grandpa died, Richard convinced everyone the farm should be divided and sold. It's just dirt, he kept saying. The money is worth more. My cousins agreed immediately. My sister Emily sided with them. I was the only one who wanted to keep it. But I didn't have enough money to buy everyone's share. So I made a decision that shocked the entire family. I sold my own portion first. The insults came instantly. Coward. Traitor. Grandpa would be ashamed. Even Emily stopped answering my calls. They thought I'd chosen money over family. They had no idea I was playing a much longer game. Grandpa wasn't only a farmer. Years before anyone realized it, he quietly bought small pieces of land surrounding the farm. Most relatives thought they were worthless. Old fields. Empty lots. Abandoned buildings. Nobody ever asked why. Except me. When I was 16, Grandpa unfolded an old map inside the barn. He tapped every property with his finger. One day this won't be a farm anymore. It'll become the center of something much bigger. I didn't understand then. Now I did. Just weeks after the family sold the farm, the state announced plans for a new interstate highway. The main exit would be built less than a mile away. Property values exploded overnight. Developers rushed into town offering millions. But there was one problem. They couldn't build without the surrounding land. Land Grandpa had quietly collected for decades. Land that belonged entirely to me. Because Grandpa transferred those forgotten deeds into my name 5 years before he died. He never told anyone else. Within days, developers started calling. Instead of selling immediately, I listened. Every proposal became larger than the last. 5 million. 10 million. 20 million. Finally, one investment group offered nearly $60 million. I accepted. Not because I wanted wealth. Because I finally understood Grandpa's plan. He never wanted the farm to make us rich. He wanted wisdom to decide who deserved the future. 6 months later, Uncle Richard called. For the first time in years, he sounded nervous. The buyers stopped construction. Why? They say they can't finish the project. Already knew why. Without my surrounding land, every access road was blocked. The expensive farmland they'd fought over had become nearly useless. Richard swallowed his pride. Maybe we should talk. I invited the whole family to the old town hall. Every chair was filled. Nobody smiled this time. Richard spoke first. You knew this would happen. I suspected. Emily looked down. So you sold your share on purpose? Yes. Why didn't you tell us? I looked around the room. Would any of you have believed me? Silence answered. Then I placed Grandpa's old map on the table. For the first time, everyone saw the dozens of surrounding properties marked in red. Grandpa had planned everything nearly 30 years earlier. Every forgotten purchase. Every empty field. Every abandoned warehouse. They all connected. Richard stared at the map. He never told us. He tried, I replied quietly. You just weren't listening. Instead of keeping the money for myself, I announced my decision. The $60 million payment would create something Grandpa always dreamed about. A local business fund. A modern farming school. Scholarships for children in the county. A healthcare clinic. And a museum preserving Willow Creek's history. The room fell silent again. Emily slowly stood. I'm sorry. I thought you betrayed Grandpa. I smiled sadly. I never betrayed him. We all misunderstood him. Even Richard's eyes filled with tears. I spent years chasing money. And he was planning a future. Months later, the town celebrated the opening of the Willow Creek Community Center. A bronze statue of Grandpa stood outside the entrance. Not holding money. Not holding land. Holding a simple shovel. Exactly the way everyone remembered him. Tourists often ask why the statue faces the old highway instead of the town. The answer is carved into the stone beneath his feet. Wealth is measured by what you leave behind, not by what you take away. Every time my family walks past that statue, they remember the lesson Grandpa spent a lifetime trying to teach us. The farm was never the treasure. The opportunity was. And while they fought over acres, he quietly handed me an entire future.